Ganganganapatiye namaha. Ganganganapatiye namaha. Ganganganapatiye namaha.
2,
Ganganganapatiye namaha. Ganganganapatiye namaha. Ganganganapatiye namaha. Ganganganapatiye namaha.
It was the source.
There's an energy,
This strangely undefinable thing that you have to just come and experience.
It's impossible to taste the sweetness of sugar without putting it in your mouth, you know.
And my reasons for doing it were impossible to articulate.
I always associated yogis with superheroes.
Now it's not just physical, but in the beginning it was just the physical as a doorway to looking at the inner self.
I needed the physical practice to tear that down. I couldn't meditate it away. I couldn't think it away. I couldn't read it away. I had to just break it down.
What's in Mysore? What's in India? And he said, my teacher, Sri K. Pattabhi Jois, is in India. And I just said, I want to do that too.
And then the week after that, it was 5 days a week. And then the week after that, I was shuffling my work schedule around, trying to make sure I could get in 6 days a week. And then booked a ticket to India and called my director and said I wasn't coming back.
though yoga was born in India, it was not very popular. Many people thought it was for sadhus, like saints, sannyasis, who doesn't have a family. But I think that perception was changed by Krishnamacharya and Pattabhi Jois.
Today, yoga is known worldwide, and Mysore has got its prominent place in the world map as a yoga city. And it's all possible because Mr. Krishnamacharya had trained 2 to 3 very important disciples of him, of which one Mr. Pattabhi Jois, Yogacharya Pattabhi Jois, continued to carry out his mission in Mysore, and today, because of him, the whole world knows about Mysore. And now I will show you one picture of the man who was responsible for starting this yoga school in Mysore, in Jagan Mohan Palace, and this is Krishnaraja Vadiyar, the 4th. Everywhere this yoga of Mysore has spread like a wildfire, and it is like the agarbatis of Mysore who will spread their fragrance to the whole world. This yoga fragrance from Mysore is occupying or encircling the whole world, I should say, by this time. And one after the other, different countries from different parts of the world, Westerners started landing in Mysore to learn the technique of yoga, and the two Mysore yoga from Pattabhi Jois.
And I wanted to go to the source to understand how things work. And when I came to Mysore for the first time, so many unanswered questions that I had in relationship to the practice and maybe the philosophy and everything that surrounds it was answered.
The other things I tried didn't catch me in the way that Ashtanga Yoga catch me, and certainly no teacher caught me in the way that Pattabhi Jois did.
I think Guruji, he helped me so much surrender. For whatever reason, his presence and his adjustments, he was so confident that he could get me to do those asanas, Marichi D and Supta Kurmasana and these things I never thought I would be able to do.
Pattabhi Jois, because he was a Sanskrit scholar also, he was appointed in the Sanskrit college.
So we are in the place where almost all the branches of Indian Shastras are taught. But they are not propagated all over the world. Only one branch which is famous in the world, because of Krishnamacharya. who has learned 700 asanas, but he has seen 7,000 asanas by Rama Mohana Brahmachari. The great Pattabhi Jois, the student of Krishnamacharya, has taught in the very room. He has taught the special system, that is the Vinyasa system. In each and every asanas, he has not left the tradition, but he has pinpointed the tradition.
ब्रह्म विश्वमिदं जगत् ब्रह्मणः क्षत्रं निर्मितं ब्रह्म ब्राह्मण आत्मनाः अन्तरस्मिन्निमे लोकाः अन्तर्विश्वमिदं जगत् ब्रह्मैव भूतानां ज्येष्ठं तेन को न स्पर्धितं ब्रह्मन् देवास्त्रयस्त्रिगुंशत् ब्रह्मन्निन्द्र प्रजापते ब्रह्मणः विश्वा भूतानि नावेवान्तः समाहिता चतस्राशास्त्रजनं पत्नयः इमन्नो यज्जन्नयतु प्रजानन् घृतं बिन्वन्नजरकुं सुवीरम्
दर्शितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः
My grandfather's theory was, you never advertise yourself. If always the real thing will take time to spread, but once it spreads, it goes in a big way. So people will discover themselves, and students will discover themselves which is real yoga, which is not real yoga. The real yoga doesn't need any advertisement. From the word of mouth, students discovered, these Westerners discovered that there is a teacher in Mysore who has this great practical experience of yoga, who established his own institution called Ashtanga Yoga Research Institute.
My father he don't want to, he never thinking I'll become a big popular man. Never thinking. He's really a very ordinary man. So he likes to people coming study here. That's why he's very happy. Then when he's sitting and teaching, after 92 years, he's still teaching my father.
My initial interest was in kind of the consciousness, awareness, intelligence, knowledge, truth, these kind of things.
Academia was one of those that promised something that didn't really follow through. The pursuit of knowledge was always very cerebral and lacked any kind of root in a practical daily life.
But I found depths in yoga, emotionally and mentally, that I never found dancing, and I think clarity of mind would be the biggest thing.
Try to understand what is happening inside to can live outside. In the dance, you are always open, trying to show something, represent something. But when you practice, you are absolutely inside of you, trying to live and understand what is inside of you to live.
I was an academic who had a complete mind-body disconnect and had a terrible car accident, and a doctor who said, do yoga to sort of fix some of the jaw tension that otherwise was going to have surgery for. The energy in the room is phenomenal. There's something magical that goes on in that room. I don't know where it's generated, but it's something to do, I think, with the mix of having some of the most senior teachers in the world in that room practicing right next to you, as well as people who are fairly new to the practice and just doing, like quarter primary, and it's everyone's working to their max no matter what level they're at, 4th series or half primary, and it's just amazing to be in there with that many dedicated yogis.
The very first practice was with Guruji, And it was a lead primary class with Guruji, and it was so demanding and so difficult for me that I had no question why I came here.
There's a large physical element, but I think a lot other things, subtle things occur and happen while practicing. And even in the first practice, the first time, or even for the first few days or the first month, you start to notice that there's certain changes in the way that you react and respond to the world around you.
Yoga means to bring equality in everything. So once we practice yoga, that samanata comes, that equality, that you can feel the equality between you and others.
And I didn't think that I could feel anymore. I didn't think I could love anymore. I really didn't. I just was so cold inside. I was so angry, and I'd built up such a wall, physically and emotionally, to other people.
When I am experiencing pain or I'm experiencing discomfort, is to just kind of just step back and observe it. Even if I wasn't doing yoga, in daily life, I'm still going to have similar experiences. And if I react and try to fight back or push back against that, that's not going to necessarily bring a positive result. So I feel like when I'm encountering that in practice, all it's really doing is teaching me to just be present, stay there, don't fight it, and just settle in, release until I'm back in balance.
You know, not 6 months, not a year, but 5 years, 10 years of practice to watch the slow, steady evolution of the human spirit.
I don't say that all the advanced practitioners are a big yogis. First, you have to understand the meaning of doing yoga.
It's not just the asanas. This is when you learn how you react, how the mind starts to talk, to say things. And if we always go into that story, into that drama, we don't change anything. But if you would just listen that, accept, and feels what happens inside, and be patient to the end, then the things start to change.
You get moved into small corners of yourself that you haven't met before, you haven't experienced before, and that suddenly comes to mind. Sometimes it's beautiful, and very often it's not beautiful at all.
Encounter those layers, you recognize them, and it's easy to let them go once you know they're there. It's hard to let them go when you don't know.
We hide all of our issues, our emotions, our problems in our bodies. We absorb them and they get stuck in our joints and in our muscles. And when we move our body through these yoga poses, they get released.
So you might have periods of difficulties and increased tension or fear or anger, for example, and then it releases and you go deeper.
It cultivates devotion and so many qualities that I think are really beneficial to being a good family member.
Oh, I think the softness is everything. You know, in many ways, the practice teaches me that balance between strength and softness. And to be a mother, you have to have both. You have to be strong and soft. And the practice teaches me when to be strong, when to be soft, when to breathe into things, when to let go, when to surrender.
I needed to break down the walls. You know, I had done bench press, I had done all these things for so many years. I had built up this, you know, this wall that was so strong. So I needed that help and that confidence that he brought, and that Saraswati also brings and Sharath continues to bring for us. That confidence, they know the practice so well, and they've seen so many hundreds and hundreds, if not thousands of bodies go through this process, that it was much easier for me to surrender to them because of the authentic confidence that they had. And so, you know, that's why I come to Mysore, because it's the only place I feel really confident and comfortable with surrendering to anyone.
Family is very important. It is very important that I'm getting lots of support from my family, from my wife, my children, and my mother. They all understand that how important it is to share this knowledge to others, to the world. Because yoga doesn't belong to one person, one individual. Yoga can be practiced by anyone.
Doing it with an amazing teacher is much easier, I've found. To just surrender to Sharat brings so many benefits and has brought so many benefits to me. A calmness in my practice that helps manifest throughout the rest of my life.
I think we come here for the teacher, and the respect that we have for the teacher here makes us work harder and stay on track. I think he walks the walk, he talks the talk, and that brings a lot of people back. You know, we see in him a great example of how a human being can act, I think.
Been a bit afraid of him at first because he looks like a strict Indian guy, but it looks like he's a very nice guy. He laughs a lot and he smiles a lot.
Sharat, to me, it's we are like the tree and he's the sea. It's like the travel to the sea.
He's a good teacher. He's teaching.
The magic of Mysore is this strangely undefinable thing that you have to just come and experience.
It's inspiring. I would never thought I would read the Bhagavad Gita, and I bought it 2 days ago and I read half of it already, and never thought that would happen. So it's just an inspiring place. Like, I mean, people come here and yeah. Magic.
I feel him. I feel that he's there looking what I'm doing.
Whatever is behind this amazing creation is you're part of it, you know.
So what attracts me again and again to this place would be the lineage, the fascinating system of linking the breath with the sequence of asanas. And this is the lineage is falling from Krishnamacharya, then K. Parabi Joyce, and now my guru, who's like I accepted Sharat as my guru. So now from him to us, and like it will keep moving on further.
I don't consider myself as a guru. Some people, they believe me as a guru. Some people, they don't believe me as a guru. The people who believe me as a guru, I'm a guru. Who doesn't believe me as a guru, I'm not a guru for them. So I don't consider myself as a guru. Guru never says that I'm guru. I will be always a student.